fabulous festive season so far. And I am super, super excited to be kicking off our Upscale Your Future Forever training this morning. So who is ready to upscale their future, ready for 2023? So hit me a cheer or put it into the chat. So I'm ready to go. So we've got an amazing Zoom this morning, all thanks to James for putting this together and getting the most amazing speakers, as he always does. And we're going to be kicking off with our fabulous Sue Worrell, who we all know and love, and all gives us the most fantastic in-depth information on our star products, because that's exactly what she's going to be talking about today, our star products. So Sue is an NMD in the business. She's a nutritionist for over 30 years, running clinics in London and Cardiff, and she's been taking Juice Plus for over 17 years. So Sue, are you there?
Yes. Yes, and it's 22 years.
22 years. I need to update your bio.
Yeah, time marches on. Yeah, I'm all good. Shall I get going?
Yes, please. Yes,
okay.
By the way.
I'll share my screen. Share. Make sure you can all see that. Everybody see the screen? Somebody put the thumbs up. Yeah, see the screen. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to do a sprint this morning as usual, but I'm freezing here because I forgot to put my office heater on. It's off my circuit at the house and I'm freezing. I'm going to get going. So we always say, I know, God, 20 years ago, James Saunderson said to me, this is the best time to be selling and taking Juice Plus. And we keep saying it all the time. But it is. And because Juice Plus is what it is, when times change, we go back to our own health and we need it more than ever. And in these times, we really do need it more than ever. So we can't stop aging, and the alternative to aging is not very good. But there's no need to be aging and lose your mobility and lose your energy. So this is just pictures of me to show that my energy and my enthusiasm for life is no different from the age 59 to 75, which I nearly am now. In this day and age, we are more than ever full of toxins. More and more people are vegan and vegetarian, but they're still eating a lot of ultra-processed food because a lot of chemicals bunched together are perfectly vegan. They're not from any animal. So this is why Juice Plus is forever going on and right for everything that happens in the world, because it works with our body. It's been tailor-made to work synergistically with all our body's needs. And now we are in such a big health crisis. I had a friend who was ill. I helped look after her. She's got no family. And we waited 4 hours for 111 to answer and 5 hours for 999 before we got her to hospital. It's not easy. And we need to look after our health more than ever. We've got a crisis with strep A now. My grandchildren were ill in Scotland with strep A. They didn't even take antibiotics. They were pretty sick for 4 or 5 days, and then they got over it. Because of all the lockdowns, our immune system is completely shot. And we need to be feeding our gut and our immune systems to protect us from all the horrible chemicals in the world, from our immune system that's been impaired from staying at home. And to keep us healthy, we need more and more of the good nutrition, because the nutrition we get is being more and more depleted. We are eating much more ultra-processed foods. You can read the slide yourself. And 20% of the UK now eat 80% ultra-processed food. That is really killing the population. So we spend money on our cars, but we don't spend much money on our body. And we look for quick fixes, which never work, because it just sends the toxins around our body, gives us headaches, makes us sick, and then we put the weight back on faster. So this is why I love Juice Plus so much. And this is why it works because it works with the body. And also the company have always supported a holistic lifestyle. So you don't just put the goodness on the inside, you do exercise, you have good sleep, stress management, and look after your whole being. So we are constantly being told about fruits and vegetables. Nicola Tolson will say she's got a thing called Granny Knows Best, and she always said, that, my grandmother always used to say, do you want some cabbage water? I think, oh, no, thank you. But I did drink it. And now ours is much better than the old cabbage water. We've got to get the greens in us. We've got to get all the multicolours in us. And the latest thing is, we know that fruits and vegetables help prevent all these diseases. You can't stand up and say Juice Plus stops you getting heart disease or obesity, but we know fruits and vegetables help prevent it. It's a huge, there's hundreds and hundreds of studies that show it, and it's a huge hit on, as we age, what diseases we get. And the latest study by a group of nutritionists that's hit the news is that they're saying we need what you think they say. Guess what they say? 30 varieties. It couldn't be better, could it? 30 varieties of fruit, veg, and berries and whole grains to make us have real health, to enable our bodies to give us real health. Not a boost for a cleanse for 5 minutes, not a boost for a weight loss for a few weeks, but for real underlying health. So this 7 to 13 is gone out the window, really. It's just as much as you can possibly get down you. And I've always said, Dave O'Brien, when I first met him, he said the same thing, which I thought was amazing. And that is that we need to eat food not from pharmacies, not made in kitchens, but grown in fields by farmers. And that's what I've aimed to do always. And Juice Plus has been a huge asset to my life. I don't think I'd be this active and this well without it. I really don't. So when we add in enough plants and good food, our body will accept us getting rid of some of the bad foods. And lo and behold, what have we got? We've got 30 fruits and veggies and berries and whole grain variety in our capsules. I mean, it couldn't be better at the moment. Go and look up the study, look up 30 fruits and vegetables, and that's a week, it says. So you can say that this study has shown we need 30 varieties a week, and we can give it to you in one day. So it's a brilliant opportunity to use on social media at the moment. You can look up all these other facts on the website. There is tons of them. One thing I love about Juice Plus is, for years, Nikki will tell you as well, for years we asked for a vegetarian capsule and we got one, and it used to fall apart, didn't it, Nikki? It all the veg through the coating. And now we've got an amazing vegetarian capsule made from Pulilan, which is fermented tapioca. And the company that made it especially for Juice Plus. And even when they finished making it and it worked and it was brilliant, Juice Plus company said, now we want one for our oils. And we are the only company, I've looked the other day and I can't find any other company that uses Pulilan capsules to put their oil in. So we've got a state-of-the-art oil capsule. And this Pulilan goes right through all the encapsulated products. If you want to know more, and you've got a practitioner who wants to know more in depth and why, this guy, Manfred Lamprecht, he was head of the Institution of Science and Research in Graz University. He has, for Juice Plus, he has bridged the gap between the science language and the studies and the medics to putting it into everyday language. And they're all the studies that were done on Juice Plus by the universities who mostly applied for the studies. You can find them under his name. So if you search on Juice Plus, Manfred Lamprecht, listen to all of them. If you're a distributor for Juice Plus, you should have read all of them and of the studies that you can, and you should have listened to them all, because it's full of amazing information. And each one can give you 20 or 30 posts from it with the absolute gems that they have in there. So one of the things that's happened over the years is the studies on things like polyphenols, which are Juice Plus berry capsules and fruit capsules are absolutely full of. And we can say that the diet's highest in polyphenols associated with 30% reduction in deaths of heart disease and other diseases. We can't say Juice Plus does it, but you can use these facts to tell people what it does. So they understand it's not like the myriad of other products online. There are even fruits and veg capsules online that you can buy now, and other people are copying, but you can bet your life they haven't got the years and years of research and the quality of produce in our capsules that in theirs. So we've got the studies to prove it. There is I think there's nearly 40 now. I need to catch up on those. You can look them up. They're easy to find. Just find the names of them on the GIS Plus website, and you can look them up and see what they've been saying. The microbiome and the gut in our body it's got tons of science on it at the moment, and there's a new study going on. I don't know whether it's finished yet. It must be just about finished now, but that's really important, and that's what makes our product stand out, and that's what makes it important that we have a product that works with our body and doesn't try to make shortcuts, doesn't try to trick our body into doing something else that will make us feel better for a short time. So it's all about gut health, and that's why they've chosen gut health as one of the studies. Sure, you all know Healthy Starts, used to be called Children's Health Study. And with the Children's Health Study before the GDPR, GIS Plus was able to get hundreds and hundreds of families and children and teenagers and everyone reporting on tick boxes to see what they were actually eating. There are no other children's dietary studies out there because it's difficult to do with children. It was the only one of its kind, and you can still get the stats from that if you want to know. So the goodness is also in the complete range, and the complete range has been developed in the same way in that it works with our body. The sugars in there, the polysaccharides, are things for energy, so don't worry about the amount of sugar in there. There's more fiber in there than you have in any single meal. And the fiber together with the protein in these products really slow down how fast that sugar can be stored. So it's used for energy, and it's not stored, not converted into sugar, and it's used and stored in our glycogen and our residual meals after we've eaten it. So it's a brilliant product. I've turned loads of people around from being diabetic completely off the diabetic scale, using just the complete and the berries, and sometimes the premium as well. So they're all there. You can look them up, and they're so versatile. I make casseroles with the soup. I use the soup as thickeners in sauces, not custard. They're not good in custard. But I use them in all the other savory sauces, and they're absolute godsend. Brilliant. The bars, I used to use them with a lot of golfers. Don't see so many golfers now. I'm seeing less sports people because I'm helping more and more people by going online. But I do still work with one cyclist and a couple of basketball players who both were going to be sold off, and they're both man of the match. One of them is in Swindon, one of them is in Canada. So turn them on to GIS Plus products, and it still works. So it really works for sports people as well. And the bars are great for golfers or cyclists who are doing long distance or have sports like golf where it takes a long time, because it's great to have in your pocket. So that's the soups. And once again, they're full of fiber. So don't worry about number of calories in them. Calories are not about really how many, it's about what's in them that makes the difference. The booster is great for people who probably have a lot of weight to lose. They're being designed for weight loss. And if you've got a long journey on weight, this does help you. It makes you less hungry. Glucomannan is not a pineapple. People think it's a pineapple. Glucomannan is a root, a huge heavy root, and it's just full of fiber. And if you see things like no calorie noodles in the shops, that's what they're made from. So it's a dietary fiber. It's a soluble fiber, which is really important because we've got less and less soluble fiber in our bodies, and it's really good to have. And because of the soluble fiber and the oat oil, it's really good at lowering cholesterol. So I've used it with some people who are not overweight at all. In fact, one of them was really skinny, to lower the cholesterol. So they were having 2 a day with their meals, and it did lower their cholesterol. So it's really good for that because of the fiber. If they weren't eating much fiber, it's very good. I love these. I love our omega capsules. I thought they weren't going to be good enough. I thought I'd have to take some krill as well, but they're brilliant. I actually take 3 a day and 4 sometimes because I'm old, and anything to help as you get on makes life a bit better. The new one coming out is going to be even better, but in the meantime, these are fantastic. And the one thing I find about these is that people notice the difference when you put the premium in, the fruit, veg, and berries. It takes time, and sometimes people never ever recognize the difference. They will say, "Oh yes, I'm sure my hair is a bit shiny or whatever," but many people don't notice the difference. People like sports people or people who've been sick people with a good diet often don't notice it, and don't notice it quickly. But everybody notices the difference when you take the omegas in, and that's a great thing. And then when they get the difference from that, you can get the omegas in after. The DNA and EPA, which is a really important one, that's the omega-3, is plenty of it there. It's full of it. And the best thing about that is that I'm keen on helping the environment, and my daughter's really keen and keeps me in tow with my recycling, etc. And the beauty of the omega-3 is that it comes from Schizochitrum, which is the purest algae and the purest source of omega-3. And it's an algae that the fish eat to get their omega-3. So it means that not only do we not deplete our krill and our fish from the ocean to get it, we don't interfere with the ocean at all. We don't interrupt the ocean and the force of nature at all, because it can be grown on land. It's not cheap to grow, but Juice Plus are not into cheap. They're into the best quality. They do the best and get the best results. So that's what Schizochitrum looks like. It looks weird when you farm it. I've seen it fairly recently. And it is an amazing algae for us to eat. These are the three things that people are looking for as well. And then vitamin D3. And this vitamin D3 that's in the new one is a completely vegan version, because most of the D3 we buy, and you should buy it with K2, by the way, whichever you, and it's the same with everything else. If you buy a vitamin, and vitamin D is the only one I recommend people to have, if you buy a vitamin, it's what you get, what you pay for. So don't expect to get a cheap $5.99 bottle in Boots and it be very good for you. You have to get the quality. So this vitamin D is completely vegan. Most of the vitamin D3 you see in all the health shops comes from lanolin, from sheep. So this is a truly pure and a vegetarian one. And zinc and lutein and lycopene, they're all in the new one. We've got lutein and lycopene in this one, but the vitamin D3 and zinc are added to the next one. So we look forward to that, and everything that they do gets better and better. Here's my uplift. I got it warm this morning to warm me up. I wasn't sure about this when it came out. I couldn't figure how they'd have an energy drink without putting sugar in it. But it's amazing. I love it. It's got all the B vitamins, very important when you get towards menopause. Women often get short of the vitamin B, the B vitamins. Doesn't have B12. I get that from somewhere else. But all these work together, and between them, they have got hundreds and hundreds of bodily cascades they perform for us to keep us healthy. You can read them on the label. You can read them online. Read all about them, and you can do posts on. You've got like 10 days of posting something on one every day. It's delicious. I use mine with a bit of cranberry juice now and hot water today, and I wouldn't be without it because of that lovely cognitive boost it gives me from morning till evening. So I highly recommend. And I use Uplift to give people I give them 3 and say, take that for 3 days and tell me if you feel the difference. So I often use that as a giveaway, and it seems to really work. So exercise. We've not had an exercise itself, a protein shake in itself that is for bodybuilding and after exercise until now. And once again, we've got one that is like superb, absolutely superb. And we know that exercise, just 20 minutes a day, will make a huge difference to cardiovascular disease and hypertension. So exercise is brilliant for lowering cholesterol, for all heart and cardiovascular wellness, and for reversing things like type 2 diabetes. The Perform has got in it soy. It's all the soy, the protein from it is soy. But this soy is particularly handled So a lot of the soy you will see in shops or in some of the milks that they use, it's not good quality soy. So I will not have soy coffee or anything for a long, long time, because I'm not sure of how they process the soy, but it's water washed. It's made with non-GMO ingredients because soy is full of GMO. And the other most important thing is it's got a responsible soybean standard. There's a protein in it that when you process soy cannot be good for us. And there was articles about that being linked to cancers, but not on our soy, not on our watch. We've got a fantastic, pristine soy, ticks all the boxes, and is an absolutely brilliant product. And I group them together in different ways for different things. I'll be putting that on my in my hub before long. And my hub is opening properly in January, and anybody who wants to join is completely free. It's a resource hub, and that's the link. You just go on and join. There's lots of Juice Plus distributors in there. Absolutely feel free to go in there, and there's loads of information you can just take and as yours. Okay, that's me. Thank you very much.
Sue, as always, thank you so much. Just always incredible information. And I'd love everyone to put in the chat, well, one, a big thank you to Sue, and two, your top takeaway from what she's just spoken about. But I always love that we spend more money on our cars and our homes and on other people's clothes and whatever than our bodies. Someone said to me the other day, like, well, I just see I don't think that I need these. They look like a luxury. I mean, our health isn't a luxury, is it? It's the most important thing. So that's what we need to be getting across to people, isn't it? So with Sue's amazing information, I mean, just like, give her a really big thank you for that, because her knowledge is incredible. And it also, I'm off to put the kettle on in a minute to have my uplift on nice and warm. It sounds amazing.
My pleasure.
Cheers. So now I think we've got a product story from Madalena from Romania. Are you there, Madalena? Can anybody see? James, can you see?
She's on, yeah.
She is. If you're there, Madalena, can you just unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be...
She's gone.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be on. And
I can share a little bit about
yeah, if you could tell, Paul, if you could just tell your story, that'd be great.
I mean, basically, I started taking the products 8.5 years ago. Yeah, 8.5 years ago now. And I was the kind of person, like everyone seems to be at the moment, getting colds a few times a year. My daughter was the same. She was, I think, 5 at the time, always picking up school colds. And I just thought that was normal. And being a mom and running a business, I was kind of, having that afternoon, slump at like 3 o'clock and another one usually about 8 o'clock. And again, I just thought that was normal. And I started taking the products after hearing the presentation, and I just thought, well, they probably won't work. I was a bit skeptical. And within 2 days, I just could not believe the energy that I got from the products. 8.5 years later, I feel like I'm the Duracell bunny. I'm kind of, all those years later, but I'm full of energy all the time. And I haven't had one single cold since I started. Neither was my daughter. And she's like in year 10 now. She was in year 2 then. So I know that they've really, really helped to protect our immune system. I feel so much better than what I did, before I started taking them, and I'll never ever stop. And when you hear, like Sue, and when you get some more in-depth information into the products and, really see the quality of them and what they actually do for our bodies, it just makes you think, like, I never want to stop taking them. So get your capsules in you.
I think Madalena's ready now.
Oh, is she? Okay, great. Okay.
I've been told she's ready.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much for inviting me to tell me the story, which I have. So I can say that I have started back in August in this year. And I have taken the vitamins with the berries, and I see the changes are coming up during the months. So I always wanted to have long nails. I loved it when I saw on the ladies beautiful long nails, and I haven't had it because all the time my nails were broken. And now they're growing naturally long, and I'm very happy for that. And I discovered that after consuming the vitamins. So this is one of those challenges, changes. Another change I have noticed is that I do not have any more pain in my legs, and especially in my knees, because back in the springtime, I had a lot of problems with my knees, and I was off work for 2 months in a row. And now I'm feeling very good, and I can work out, I can do everything I want. I can walk like 3 hours in a row without having any problems. And as well, I do not feel dizziness. I have hypothyroid, and I'm feeling very happy now, not depressed and not anxious. And another change that I noticed is that my hair, it's not falling anymore as it was falling before. And as well, my immune system is good, even in the cold winter, which now in Romania is a little bit different. It's much stronger. The temperature is like 8 degrees outside, but because of the winter in the body is felt like 0 degrees. So I haven't had any cold since the winter started. So I can say that I haven't get any flu, and I'm feeling very, very happy for that. So in my opinion, I believe that there is nothing in life you can guarantee except the change from inside out. So those vitamins are doing the change from inside out, which is amazing. And I cannot thank you enough for the support you gave me, James and Rani. And now I feel determined to carry on with Just Plus. Thank you a lot.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. That was absolutely amazing. I just love that, you know, that you're getting your health from the inside out, which is exactly what Juice Plus is all about. So absolutely fabulous that you're getting such amazing health results. So you're going to get younger as the years go on, which is what it's all about, isn't it? Happy aging, as Sue calls it. So thanks a lot, Madalena, and can everyone put a thank you in the chat there as well? And then I'm going to move on to our next speaker this morning. And we've got our amazing Nese McLemon. And she's been in the business for 2 years. And she's a mum of 1, stepmom of 2, hit NMD in 16 months, which is absolutely fantastic. And now she's going for IMD. And she's going to be talking to us today about My Daily Focus to Make a Fortune. Are you there, Nese?
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm in my car because my house is too hectic. All the kids are there.
The great thing about our business, you can do it from absolutely anywhere.
I know. I literally was like, I need to go in the car because no one will be able to hear me.
Oh, fabulous. Right, you've got your peace and quiet now.
Yeah, I love it. Just sitting in my car. Sit here probably half an hour later as well. Yeah, so I basically, well, I've got red eyes because I had a late night last night. I had a Christmas party for the team. It was very, very amazing. But anyway, yeah, so obviously I was asked to speak about my daily focus. So obviously as a mum, it's not always easy. It's not always straightforward. You can't normally nothing always goes to plan, but you need to make it work. You need to have a plan in place that is adaptable. So the best thing I can advise in the sense of like having a schedule. So obviously when I joined the business, I am under Emma Leyland's team, Kira's team, obviously following people that aren't parents necessarily and might not have the same routine as me as a daily routine. So the biggest thing I'd advise is having a schedule and having a structure that suits you. I have these clocks, and I got the idea from Emma Snedden, and I kind of manage out my days. Like, I don't make things hard. I think when I first started, I try to do everything at every minute of the day, and it becomes hard work. And this business isn't hard. Like, it's very simple structure, and it's fun. You know, like, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So if you've got, like, if you work, if you have other commitments like children, or you're a carer or anything like that, you need to do this business and structure it around your life to make, else if you're trying to do it the other way around, it's going to become really difficult. So everybody's journeys are completely different to why they join. So when you're putting your plan in place, you need to, if you want to come into this business and you want to hit the top, you know, like, you need to treat this business like a business. Like, I put my alarm on for 6:30 every morning to get onto a morning call, and like you would going to work, you know, like, if I had to be at my job for 7:30, like, you would put your alarm on for 6 a.m. to get up, get ready, get out of the house, get to work, you know. Another thing that I swear by, and I've done this from day dot, I mean, I'm not going to go into my journey, but obviously right at the start of my journey, I wasn't the quickest off the mark, because I was just petrified of everything, and I was too scared of what people thought of me. But from 6 weeks in, I literally was like, right, I want to be successful. All these people can do it, why can't I, you know? So, and the main thing everyone was telling me was DMO, and it's so true. Like, I wouldn't be an MD, and no one would be a leader if you don't stick to your DMO. You need to prioritize. That's how we grow our business. You know, we grow our business through a DMO. Obviously, if you're not adding, you're not bringing new people into your shop. If you're not interacting, people aren't going to see your posts. Only 5 to 10% of people see your posts on a daily basis, unless you're interacting via an inbox, if you're making those relationships. If you're not posting, some people, like me, I started and I posted once, and I just thought everyone was going to come to me and everyone was going to buy, and everyone was going to show interest off that one post. Didn't do much for 6 weeks, and obviously no one knew what I was doing. So that's it. Like, if you're not posting about everything, if you're not posting about every product, if you're not posting about all the benefits, you're not going to be able to get there's going to be different people on your social media and your network and in your environment that's going to buy or join for different reasons. So you need to be sharing every single element about every single thing we do. That comes down to knowledge. That comes down to you learning everything, you know. Like, we need to be we've got all these amazing training calls and stuff, but if you don't know something, you need to go and self-teach, you know. Like, you can't just rely on your uplines, you can't rely on everybody around you. At the end of the day, you open a franchise for you, and just like you would if for example, when I had a baby, there's no manual to have a baby. You just have it and you learn along the way, and that's what our business is all about. Like, you can learn along the way, but you do need to go out and really, really know your stuff, and that will give you the confidence to go out and be passionate about it and taking the products. Everybody should be on our products, because they, like they were saying before, they make you feel insane, they make you feel incredible, and they are incredible for your health, for every single benefit in life. Everyone should be on it. But if you don't know that feeling, you can't get that across to people. And if you don't know what our products do, no one's gonna believe in you, you know. Mindset. So mindset is probably the biggest thing for me. When I first started, everyone was telling me to self-develop, and I was like, what is this crazy thing they're saying, watching these crazy videos of people shouting, going, you can do it. I was very much like, didn't really understand it, you know. And I was like, I'm a positive person, I'm this and this. But I tell you something now, if you don't work on your mindset is probably 80% of this business. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that faith in yourself, things that happen day to day will get in the way. You know, we're human. Everybody's human. We might have days where we don't feel like doing anything. We might just feel like we want to wrap ourselves up in a blanket and stay on the sofa all day, you know. I like to say bed, but when you're a mum you can't. But you need to have that mindset to know that anything is possible in life, and as long as you put your mind to it. Can you hear me all right? Oh, you can. But that also comes to having a why. So you hear a lot, have a why that makes you cry. I don't necessarily have a why to make me cry, but I have a why that gets me out of bed every single day. It gets me out of feeling when I've got a vision board. So a vision board is so important. I've got a vision board that sits right next to my bed. So every time I go to bed, I look at my vision board. Every time I wake up in the morning, I see my vision board. So when you wake up in the morning, and like a small thing, I say small thing, for me, it's probably the biggest thing on there. I've got a cottage on there that I want to buy my mum one day, and a car. Like, I would love to give back to my mum. And the days when you get out of bed and you feel like, oh, I'm just going to take the day off, you need to have those things to remind you why you're doing it, why you started. And when you do start, your why might change. I joined for a holiday fund for me and the family. Obviously now I know the potential of this business. It's absolutely massive. Like the possibilities in this business and what it can give you is endless. And until you know that, until you believe that, you won't get the full potential out of it. So having those things to focus on is so key. So lastly, it's more, every single day you need to have a goal. You need to have a goal for each day. You need to have a goal for each week and each month, and you need to stick to those goals. Like every single day I write out three gratitudes and 3 non-negotiables, and those things I literally swear by. I will not go to bed without doing them. So they're really, really important. You need to have goals long term and short term. You know, like you can't, obviously I've got that on my vision board for my mum, like the bungalow, the car, but those things are going to take time. So having those short term goals, like paying off debt, or I don't know, going on a holiday, or that, even if it's being able to fill your car up with petrol without even having to worry, like a full tank. Before I started the business, I used to scrimp and scrape for pounds in between my, like the middle bit of my car, hoping I had £10 to put in my car, you know. So having that like goal that you want to be able to just put a full tank of petrol in and not have to worry, they're the things that you need to be focusing on. So yeah, focusing on your mindset, self-development. Every single person will be self-development is a strange thing in the sense that it will only suit you to do in different ways. So my self-development is training, working out. I do sometimes need the people shouting at me saying you can do it and having all those, but majority of the time it's working on myself, is exercise. So for everybody it'll be completely different. You need to find what works for you, but stick to it, because mindset really, really is key. So yeah, that's literally it from me, I think, for my my daily goals and stuff.
Oh, I love that so much. That's incredible. And obviously whatever you've done, you know, it absolutely works, because you've hit NMD for 16 months. So it's absolutely fantastic. And especially around being a mum as well. And I love what you say about, you know, treating the business as a business and not just as a hobby, because so many people do that. It's just kind of that side hustle in the side kind of thing. But if you really get down to business and set your structure, set your alarm, and you know, just really treat it as a business, it just shows the success that you can have. And I love that about having that structure as well, because I'm guilty about that. Just kind of my day goes on and then it's like, oh my God, I haven't done that. But if you've got the non-negotiables, and as you said, those 3 non-negotiables every single day, and your gratitude. And also I love the vision board next to your bed as well, so it's like, right, okay, I've got to do this, because mine's at the other end of the room.
It's not even pretty, it's on my floor, so it's like directly at my where my pillow is. It's just there. If it was up on the wall I probably wouldn't see it. So yeah, like having it on the floor right next to you, like...
you can't get away from it.
No.
Absolutely incredible. I absolutely love all your tips there. So thanks so much for sharing them. You can go back into your crazy house now.
Thank you.
And everyone, if you can just please give Nese a really big thank you, and also put in your top tips there as well. And have a fabulous weekend at Christmas. Take care.
Thank
do
you.
you have do you have a story? Do you have a guest?
I do. I've got the lovely Chelsea Brownwood.
Okay.
Recently hit SC. So she is on at the moment, so she's ready to speak.
Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me? Have I done it right?
Thanks, Chelsea. We can hear.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. Do you know, it's so funny listening to Nesh because I'm literally a carbon copy of her. And I think that's an incredible thing for leadership, isn't it? Is that she's found something that works and she's literally just passed everything down to me. So yeah, Nesh asked me to come on just to really quickly sort of run through me and my success so far, because it's not really been straightforward. I'm a year in and I'm now an SC, which is amazing. My story is really a story of resilience. It's not a super fast story, but I have a unshakable belief in the business and the products. And so I'm in it for the long haul, and I'll do what it takes to get to where I want to be. I actually joined on a whim because I was desperate not to return to teaching. I'm actually a secondary school teacher and unfortunately struggled with poor mental health when I was pregnant and thought I couldn't really go back to teaching. So the opportunity of, earning money alongside my daughter and managing my mental health at the same time was actually really appealing to me. So I gave it a go. Nesh passed down all of that stuff she's just told you guys. And as I say, completely duplicated it. For me, when I started taking self-development seriously is when things really, really changed. I just feel like there are so many incredible people in network marketing that have done insanely well. They write that down and put it in books for you, and then they read it, and so you can listen to it on an audiobook. And so we should all go and take advantage of the incredible people that have done so well. They've written their own books. And so I'm always listening to something. I've gone through so many different audiobooks now. As Nesh said, we all do it in our own different way. For me, it's audiobooks. I love them. And the education I get from them, I just think it's incredible. And yeah, like Nesh, I'm actually sat in my bedroom now. I also have a vision board right next to my bed. We're literally like the same people, but yeah, and we also have a sort of a no excuse policy in our team. Bad things happen and it doesn't matter. We continue to get up. We show up every day and we get through it. And yeah, we just keep going. So that's it, really.
Chelsea, thank you so much. I'd love you to write, when you finish speaking, if you could write in the chat your favourite audios.
Yeah,
of the people that have helped you, because I think you and Nesh you should write your own. You're firecrackers, are you? No, but I love everything you said, and and it's amazing that we've got so many teachers in this Induce Plus that are just doing incredibly well. And I think with just having that belief and also your organisation skills as well of being a teacher, you've got to do really well. So absolutely amazing. I'm really, really pleased with all your success. Fantastic. So yeah, if you could pop in the chat your recommendations as well, that would be fabulous. Thank you.
I'll do that now. Thank you
for sharing. And now we're going to move on to our Nona Nese, sorry, I hope I've said that right, who's a PMD in the business, and she's such a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out. We're always having a little chat. She's so lovely. So Nona is a mum of 2 boys. She's a wife, a chartered accountant, and also runs another business. So what kind of superstar is she already? She's been in the business for 5.5 years, PMD and Club 100. So get your pens and papers ready and write lots and lots of notes, as she's going to be talking about mastering the art of team building. Are you there, Nona?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, excuse me. Don't have much of a voice. So, hi, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, and thank you again for having me on this Zoom. Mastering the art of building a team. Right. When I first started, everybody, I had no idea about the compensation plan. I did not understand the compensation plan. But funny enough, I hit my first promotion. Everybody celebrated. Back then, first promotion did not come with a bonus. So again, I didn't understand what that meant. I was just happy, you know, I'd hit a promotion. It was only after 4 months when I hit my second promotion and a bonus came with it that made me want to understand things a little bit better. It's like, what are these bonuses? What are these promotions that everyone keeps celebrating? You know, how am I hitting these promotions? I had no idea how I was actually getting up those steps. I was just told, you know, just you know, taught the business, and I was doing it, and it was working for me, and I was showing up every day. I was being consistent. You know, everything that everybody else have talked about as well. So I was doing all of those things, but like I said, I never really truly understood the art of, you know, building a team and what it meant for me, the growth in my own business. So it was, like I said, when I hit my second promotion, that really made me want to stand up and learn this compensation plan and how everything works. So after I've learned it, I got to understand that really and truly that how the business is set up, you're not able to go past your second promotion without building a team. And that's the amazing part about this business. What that means is the company wants you to grow, but also wants you to help other people. Right? You're here to change your life. You're here to build your business. You're here to make money, make life easier for yourself. But the company also says, please go out there and help other people do the same thing. Now you've hit your first and your second promotion. So now go out there and help other people. Now, in order to build your team, obviously you got to get to know people. You know, in order to recruit, you got to get to know people. You got to build relationships. You got to be quite transparent on your page. You got to build trust with people. That's what it's about. People, you know, you just heard Nese and her team member, and they're saying, you know, the carbon copy of each other. And that's what it's about. You attract, you know, people like yourself. That's what you're here for. And that's why you share your journey, you share your story in order to be able to attract your type of people, which I guess everybody call them your tribe. Your tribe could be anybody from any walks of life, but it's people that you can connect with. It's people that you're going to be able to mentor. It's people that you're going to be able to teach. So and that's where you got to go out there and get to know people and try and be as transparent as you can. Tell people about the opportunity. Now, as a network marketer, we are storytellers. We always get told we are storytellers. Now, you might have just started in a business and you might not have a huge story of yourself. Use your upline story, use other people's stories. There's loads of opportunity groups with loads of different stories in them. You take advantage of all of those groups. That's how you can start, you know, building your team through those kind of opportunity. There's opportunity calls, opportunity groups. Take advantage of all of them. Invite people onto opportunity calls that many different people have. We have one on a Monday night, you know, literally every Monday night. Invite them and let them listen in. This is basically how you start attracting your tribe. When you start recruiting the people that you need to recruit, try and understand those people. Now, every single person that you're going to recruit, they're not going to have the same needs and wants as the next person. Every single person is different. You have to be very adaptable, especially when it comes to dealing with different people. Different people's understanding is different. Different people's needs are different. People's time is different. You know, some people are busier than others. You know, people deal with things behind closed doors that, you know, maybe not a lot of people are, you know, they know of. So you just got to get to know your people that, you know, you've recruited in order to be able to help them better. Now, obviously, have your training Zooms. Those are very important in order to build your team. One thing is, I'm not a believer of having Zoom 7 days a week, because people have a life to get on with. You know, they join this business, they want to learn, but they don't necessarily have the time to be on a Zoom 7 days a week. So, you know, once or twice a week is good, because then obviously other people also having Zooms where we get to send them to those Zooms as well, you know, training Zooms for them to go and listen in. So your own training Zooms once or twice a week, you know, I'd say that's sufficient. Have different training, you know, on different topics for them. Speak to your team, find out what it is they're struggling on. Just because, you know, you want to do a training on a particular topic, maybe some of your team are already aware of it, but then there is one person that's struggling on something specific. by talking to your team, you get to understand what their needs are. So when it comes to training, you can do specific training on the things that they need in order to make them understand. Now, one very important thing is like I said, I never understood the compensation plan, and it took me 4 months to start learning it, but it's really good for people to start learning that compensation plan straight away. Now, don't overwhelm your team members by trying to teach all the steps, because it's quite a lot of steps, quite a lot of criteria they have to learn, and that can be quite overwhelming and go way past their heads. I always say one step at a time. Just teach them compensation plan one step at a time. Make them learn, whatever position they're going for, make them learn that position, and maybe even the next position, so they're ready for it. So when they've hit that first position, they know what to expect for the next position. So 1 or 2 positions at a time, I'd say that's sufficient enough, and just work with them all along the way. So when people start, I always have a whole new WhatsApp group for them, because obviously the information that I send them, I don't want to duplicate it for other people that have already joined and might already have those informations. Sorry, I'm trying to go. I don't want to, talk too much. I don't want to go through my list. Like I said, try and understand your people. Also, what I do is I have a lot of one-to-ones with my team, because sometimes when you're in a group settings, some people might not have the nerve to ask questions or put up their hand and get involved. Or they feel like maybe the questions they're going to ask might be a stupid question. I always say there is no such a thing as a stupid question, but obviously, like I said, there's people at different levels. So I have a lot of one-to-ones with my team. I help them, in order to, in terms of their lifestyle, I try to understand their lifestyle. I try to understand, their working life, their kids. We try and set, it depends on their time. We try and teach them how to time manage, by blocking out days, the times of day where they're busy, they've got to deal with the kids, they're sleeping, they're eating. And then there's always gaps in the middle where they can invest their time. Everything about this business is about learning. It's about learning how to manage your time. It's about learning how to be consistent. It's about learning how to, train your team and how to grow your team. So when you develop yourself, then you can also develop your team as well. And obviously everybody else, all the other speakers, talked about this as well. Development is a huge thing. Your mindset is a huge thing. So I try and build leaders. So when my team starts, as well as having one-to-ones with them, beginning of every month, I help them set their weekly, daily, and monthly goals for the month. It's very important, and again, also do a vision board, just like Nese just said. It's very important for them to know for the next 12 months, what do they want to gain from this opportunity? What do they want to gain from this business? And I also want them to be as realistic as possible. I've had people start and they say to me, oh, I want to earn 100 grand in a month. I mean, that's quite unrealistic for someone who's just started and they're expecting to earn that amount of money, let's say in the next 12 months. Even the best of the best, I don't think they can earn that amount of money in 12 months. So I always say to people, be realistic, especially, the time that you're investing in the business. How much time are you investing? Hour a day? Then don't expect to earn 100 grand a month in the next 12 months. But if you're for example, if you're investing 4 or 5 hours a day, you're treating this more like a job than a hobby. Treating it like a business rather than a hobby. Taking it more seriously, investing more of your time into it, and that's how this business grows, by investing time into it. Then you can, let's just say in 12 months' time, you can expect to earn a few grand a month from this business. So I always try and get them to set their, expectations high, but not high enough that they can't reach it. It's got to be a little bit harder than what they feel like they can achieve, because I feel like everyone can achieve more than what they think they can achieve. And it's all about pushing your team as well. Everybody who joins, also please keep in mind when people join, a lot of us do this business on social media, but not everybody's comfortable doing this business on social media. So when somebody joins your team and they feel like, no, I don't want to do this business on social media, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem if you don't want to do it on social media, but then I'm going to teach you, if you're not going to do it on social media, what you have to do out in the world. You have to be there, talk to people. You constantly have to stop people. You have to become a people's person, and not be afraid to literally stop anyone and everyone on the street, at your child's school, you're going to the GP, you're in the supermarket, you're in the shopping center. It doesn't matter where you are, stop people and talk to them. And that's what it's about. But also don't forget, when someone says maybe they don't want to do something in particular, doesn't always mean they don't want to forever not do it. Just like when we're trying to recruit and someone says no, it doesn't always mean no forever. It means no for now. Maybe it's not their time right now. Always keep that in mind as well, because sometimes you talk to someone, they say to you no, but then that same person come back to you in a year, 2 years down the line, and their circumstances have completely changed. So again, in this business, I start people off depending on what their comfort zone is to begin with. Everyone's stick to their comfort zone, and they've got to be pushed out of their comfort zone every so often. People will not come out of their comfort zone, unfortunately, unless you give them that little bit of a push. And you got to see, how far their comfort zone goes. So also you got to show up every day, because your team are watching you. So for example, I have team members that have joined, not interested in social media, for example. So they're doing this in, word of mouth, talking to people and whatnot, but they have a social media and they watch me. And then all of a sudden I notice they start sharing my post. And then all of a sudden they start having an interest in wanting to do it on social media. And guess what? Because they've been watching me, they get inspired by what I put on my page. So again, your team are going to get inspired by you, by how you show up, by what you do for them. Another thing that I do for my team is incentives. I mean, right now the company has huge amounts of incentives all over the place, which is amazing. And one thing I find, incentives really gets people going, really gets people excited. And that's what this business is about constantly getting them going. It's about helping them to help themselves. It's about helping them to develop themselves. It's about helping them to learn the business, become a people's person, how to talk to people, and then, eventually, turn them into leaders. By turning them into leaders, I get my team members, as soon as they are capable or they feel like they can, to do Zoom meetings. I want them to hold Zoom meetings. They don't have to do no big Zoom meeting on the compensation plan or anything, but I get them to do something as simple as go and learn one of the products and come and talk about that product in details, in depth. And it's just about getting them to show up in front of people, because I feel like, talking in front of people could be very scary for a lot of people. And by just showing up and talking, that calms people down. So it's just showing up, it's just having different incentives, it's just getting your team excited. You have to be a self-motivator, but as well as inspiring others, you can also inspire your team. Inspire them through what you do, inspire them through your story. Every time I recruit, a lot of my team members want me to share my story with that new recruit, because majority of my team members got inspired by my story. They keep going because of my story. They keep going because of where I started, how I got there, my journey, and where I am today. And it's making them keep going, no matter how hard maybe things might get in the business. So your story is very important, and just showing up every day and just helping them to achieve what they want and how they want it, not how you think they should achieve it. Is about them. But then when you work with them, depending on how slow or fast, they will get there eventually. And it's not about how slow or fast, it's about getting there at their own time, because don't forget, we do this in our own time. So yeah, that's me with my tips. Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. What an incredible leader you are. This morning she sent me a message just saying, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Like, you would never know, would you? And it's the same with any time I ever hear you speaking. It's like you just absolutely own the stage when we were at the other event, or you own the Zoom, and everyone's just like, wow. Absolutely incredible. I just love all those tips. Too many for me to go through, but I just love all the, don't overwhelm, treat them all as individuals, and find out their time. She'll just, I'm going to go through it all again, and I'm going to listen to that again and make even more notes. So thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. Do you have a speaker this morning? Nona?
Yes, absolutely. I've got the beautiful Winnie. She's a medical scientist and a public health specialist. She's a mom of 3, 2 boys, 1 girl, and she joined us back in September. She's a Partner Plus, and she's going to share her story with you guys. Winnie, are you there?
Thank you.
Winnie, you got to unmute. Are you there?
Can you hear me? I
Yes.
am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right, I'm here. Hi, Nona. Thank you so much. And yeah, just confirming that I'm on Nona's team, and she's an amazing leader. She's just always available, always there for us. Love it. Thanks, Nona. Right, so my story. Basically, I joined in September the 14th to be specific, and I got my products on the 17th. And the reason why I joined was mainly because I felt I was neglecting my health. I felt it's time to invest in my health, because career-wise, I'm a medical scientist. I'm into public health. I'm passionate about mental health. I'm passionate about, maintaining a good physical and mental well-being. But I felt I was so stressed with work, and I felt, I'm not practicing what I preach. So I really need to look after myself before I can preach to others to look after themselves. So one of the members of our team, our current team, had been telling me about Jesus for years. And I was just too busy with my work and doing my thing. But I've been following her. And she just always looks so healthy, so alive, and so young. And, judging from what I was feeling, I used to wake up tired in the morning. I was having hot flashes in the night. I suspected it was perimenopausal. I was, always moody, always stressed at work. And I think I'm not looking after myself. So what I decided to do is I contacted her, and I said, you know what? I finally want to join Jesus. And this is before I even tried the product. She was like a product of the product. So me seeing her and how healthy she was looking and how alive and well, I felt I want to be like that. I'm not looking after myself. And not to forget to say that when I, from the COVID pandemic beginning to about September, I had gained 20 kilos over my normal BMI. And I was feeling very grumpy, always tired, like I say. So I thought, I want to do something just to look after myself. I want to invest in my health. So I got the product on the 14th, joined, became a partner. My products arrived on the 17th of September. I started taking them immediately, and I move with them wherever I go. I even have them right here with me. I move with them wherever I go. So yeah, started taking them, and oh wow. I was told, yeah, it takes a while for them to start kicking in, probably, about a month. But I can testify that from about a week or 2, I was already feeling different. I was feeling alive. I was feeling well again. And literally within about a month, within about 2 months, I had lost 10 kilos. And I was amazed, because all I was doing was taking my products, doing my daily routine, making sure I go for my run every day, eating healthier, consciously so, and taking the products as well. And I feel amazing. I was feeling all grumpy and overweight by the extra weight that I had that, wasn't really for me. But now I feel alive again. And everybody that knows me, Nona, what are you saying? Everybody that knows me knows that I'm full of energy. Naturally, I'm just like a naturally high person. I'm full of energy, full of life, love to inspire people, love to motivate, love to, promote good health, good mental well-being, and good physical well-being. But I was feeling, not myself. So after taking these products, wow, I feel amazing. I really do feel amazing. And then, so initially when I started, it wasn't really about the businesses. Like I said, I was just investing in my health. But then after a month, I found 180 or 160 pounds in my account just from the products I'd gotten, because I just got a lot of products. I wanted to try everything out, and I wanted to benefit from them all. And then I got paid some money into my account, and I thought, ooh, I'm getting paid some money on top of this. So that's interesting. Who doesn't want a little bit extra cash, right? So I thought, let me also look at this side of things. So got talking with Nona. She told me about and Sheila, and they told me about the business side of things. Amazing. So I've joined now. I'm doing the business side of things as well as benefiting from the product. I'm loving every step of the way and never turning back. Thank you so much, Nona and Sheila, for inspiring me to join the family. Thanks, everyone. That's my story.
Oh, well, fantastic, Winnie. Thank you so much. And I'm handing over. It's like a relay race now. So I'm handing over. Paula's handing over for me. But look, well done, Winnie. That is just such a story. And you look radiant. You look full of life. You look great. Absolutely. I mean, you yourself are a product of the product.
Totally. I feel it, I live it, I love it.
And it's so fascinating that you're working in public health, you know, you've got a science background, and it's absolutely tremendous to hear your promotion, verification, you know, and support for Juice Plus. It's absolutely wonderful. But you look absolutely great, bright, young. Look at you, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. That's been so much.
And thank you, Nona. Thank you so much. Yeah. So just to say, everyone, that my name is James Sanderson. So I, believe it or not, have been involved with the company. It's ridiculous what I'm going to say now, for 34 years. So and I was just attracted to the company for the product, but also for the community, but also for the like personal development. And it has and continues to be the most extraordinary space I have ever entered into in my life. And there is something so special about Juice Plus that it's difficult to quite understand and put your finger on it, but there is something magical about this company and this product. Great. Okay, well, let's move on now. Slight panic stations a moment ago because our next speaker, I couldn't see her on. And I was like, oh my God, you know, maybe I'm going to have to speak now. But anyway, our next speaker, and I think she is on now, she said, give me 5 and I'll be on. Right. Okay. Well, I'll give her a little bit of an intro now. So Jane Mabley, let me just get this up now. Sorry about this. Hang on. Ooh, hang on. I had it a moment ago. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, right, here we go. So Jane Mabley, NMD. So you've probably seen, for those that follow Jane, she's been like all over the world recently, hasn't she? I mean, she's been in Dubai. Every time I see her, she's on some fabulous trip somewhere. And it just shows, you know, how wonderful our business is in terms of giving the flexibility that it gives us. So Jane joined the business in January 2018 after a 4-stone weight loss journey. Wow, imagine that. 4-stone weight loss. That's absolutely incredible. She knew nothing about network marketing and only joined to get her products cheaper. Well, that's a good reason in a sense. At the time of joining the business, Jane was a stay-at-home mum to 3 kids with 1 full-time wage, not stretching far enough, and as a family struggling to make ends meet. I think everyone right now, or you know, so many people would understand that now, that struggling to make ends meet. Just from sharing her journey, Jane hit senior part in her first 2 weeks. Wow, that's absolutely incredible. And then 18 months later in lockdown, she hit sales coordinator, QSSC and SSC, all in 6 months. So I'm sorry if you're watching for the first time and you're wondering what on earth we're talking about with all of these acronyms. These are positions where you would move yourself gradually up through the program. But that QSSC and SSC is pretty impressive. I mean, when you look at SSC, just to say, SSC, and it's going to sound a lot if I tell you this, you're turning over £10,000 in 1 month. But, you know, when you've got a team, as Nona was talking about, you know, what I always say to people, build the team and the volume will just take care of itself. That's it. Build the team and the volume will take care of itself. It's that simple. So that's what she did. And I can see that she's online now, so I can I can relax a little bit now. In January 2022, Jane made the decision to focus on a 90-day game plan and hit QNMD in March, and then straight into NMD in August. This business has given her and her family time and financial freedom. And we know all about that because of all the trips. So Jane, please take the stage, the Zoom stage, and we're so pleased to welcome you.
Good morning, guys. Sorry, do you know what? It's been one of those mornings from hell.
Fabulous to see you. And it's just great. So warm welcome.
No, thank you very, very much. So yeah, and you know what? There really isn't a better time now than starting a 90-day game plan. And you know what I would say? Don't put it off till January. So many people, especially in my team, have gone, I'm going to start in January. No, start now. Do you know what? Just start now. Make that decision and start now. Don't put it off till January. You know, do you know what? If you want to do it, start on Monday or start on the 15th of December, but don't put off waiting until January to start. End the year as you mean to go on. Like so many people, you know, they'll just write off December and they'll go, oh, do you know what? I'll start in January. December will be quiet. If you're telling yourself December will be quiet, then it will be quiet. You know, it's like everything. We sit here telling our customers, don't we? Don't wait until January, start now, imagine where you'll be if you get that head start, you'll go into the new year feeling amazing. It's no different with your business. So do not wait till January. And it is just making that decision, committing to that decision. So like James was saying, I did that. I had sat at SSC for around 18 months and I just made that decision of, do you know what? Something needs to change. We need to up our game. And I think we all get so stuck doing the day in, you know, the same stuff every single day, which is great. You have to be consistent. You've always got to be consistent. But we get so stuck thinking, oh, I'm doing enough. If you want that next position, you are going to have to work that little bit harder. You know, NMD, it's not easy. It really, really isn't easy. Some people will think, oh, it looked so easy. No, not at all. So make that decision. And I had so I've been in the business 5 years now. So over those 4 years in the business, I probably numerous times had said, oh, I'm going to do a 90-day game plan. I'm going to really, really focus on my DMO. We've all done it, haven't we? And then we get to, you know, 2 weeks in and we forget that we're doing a 90-day game plan. And I've done that a lot. But in January, I made that decision that enough was enough and I was actually just going to do it. So I restructured my DMO. So this is actually, I have a really, really simple DMO. And don't overcomplicate the business. I stick to every day having tick boxes for these things. So I've got a really, really simple DMO, which is add 20 to 30 new people every single day. Some people might do way more than me. But do you know what? Have a DMO that you can actually stick to. There's no point having a DMO where it's, I'm going to add 50 people and I'm going to send 20 new messages every single day if you're not completing it. You're better to actually have a DMO that you can complete every single day and that you will stick to. So mine is super simple. So add 20 to 30 new people every single day. Follow 20 to 30 new people on Instagram every single day. Post 3 to 6 posts per day on Facebook. And make sure it is a mix of things, guys. You don't just want to be a juice plus robot. We don't want spammy pammies. You know, people buy into you, and that's the main thing. You know, if people trust you, then they're going to come to you, they're going to buy from you, they're going to put their money into you, they're going to invest into you. So make sure it is a good mix of you. And I'll go over a couple of the posts that I now every day make sure is on my social media. Do your happy birthdays. It sounds so simple and you hear loads of people do it, but by doing those happy birthdays, it's working on your algorithms. It will change up your Facebook. You'll get into new people's inboxes every day. And I actually do my happy birthdays to people a day late. because that is very me, as she says, as she's turned up late. That is very me, and that suits me. But what I actually find is on their birthday, people are busy and they get hundreds and hundreds of messages. So I actually send people a message the day after saying, hey, lovely, just wanted to say, hope you had the most amazing birthday yesterday. What did you get up to? Because that way they've already got something, you've got something to talk about. You can tell them, they'll tell you what they've done. They're not busy. Otherwise, how often do you say to someone, happy birthday, what are you doing today? And they go, I don't know yet. There's no conversation, is there? So I always do mine a day late, and I always find that works really, really well for me. And you just start those conversations. Make sure you're doing your income producing tasks every day. So things like your story reach out. So, when go and have a look who's viewed your story. And I'm never salesy with these. I just say, hey, lovely, hope you've had a fab day. Just wanted to say, thank you for viewing my story. I really appreciate it. Some people will, say, would you like any information? I personally don't. I just like to build that friendship first, because then people are going to trust you. Make sure you're keeping in contact with your customers, because as we know, your customers, your retention is your pension, but also your customers make the best teamies. So really lock in with them, build relationships with them, help them along the way, be their agony aunt. You're going to find you're always going to be their agony aunt, but be their agony aunt. Making sure that you are connecting with 5 new people every single day in your inbox. Again, lots of people will say, oh, I do 10 or I do 20. I actually just make sure that I do 5 so that I can build real relationships with them and I can have real conversations with them. And what I tend to do is after I found that they've replied a couple of times, I then do voice note people, because I like to voice note people. I find it's more personal. But sometimes if you haven't connected with someone before and they get a voice note, we go, oh, a voice note. But that's what I tend to do. But connecting with 5 new people every single day. So whether it's a, hey, lovely, your holiday photos looked absolutely amazing. Where did you go? Was it child friendly? Was it this? Go and have a look at these people's profiles before you just get into their inbox, guys. Actually build relationships. It's so, so important. Make sure you are following up and chasing all of your likes and comments on posts. I know it sounds like a really, really, simple DMO. And like I say, we all say, yeah, I do that. But will you commit to ticking it off every single day for 90 days? Because that's when the magic happens. Use as many products as you can every day, showcase our products. But again, share, don't sell. Selling doesn't sell, sharing does. And most importantly, use videos. Videos will build your business. So this is something that I did as well when I started my 90-day game plan. I committed to 1, doing my DMO every single day, but I also committed to making sure that my face and my voice was on my profile every single day, so that people got used to seeing me, got used to hearing me, they would trust me. And it's really, really important. So whether it's a live, whether it's a pre-recorded video, whether it is you doing hands-free in your stories, talking in your stories, but people get to hear your excitement. People get to actually see that it's you. And more importantly, if I'm taking a picture like this, are the capsules in here? Have I actually taken them? Have I just taken a picture? If I'm talking to you and I'm doing this, and then I've got my drink and I'm doing that, and then I'll take one and then I'll talk a little bit more, or I'm making my shake, people actually go, she is actually using them. It just isn't for sales. So I think it's really important to focus on videos. So also one of the things that I really focused on when I started my 90-day game plan was getting an accountability buddy. I think this is so, so important, guys. Lock in with someone else who is doing exactly the same as you. So find someone. They don't necessarily have to be the same position as you, but find someone who's got roughly the same goals as you, whether it's hitting the next position or whether it's building a team or whether it's hitting a club, so that you can work together. And I personally think, find someone who isn't in your team. Find someone in the business somewhere else, so that you've got no, monetary time with them, you've got no team time with them, but find someone to keep yourself accountable. I cannot stress enough how important that is, because I say this every day,
we're not going to be motivated every single day. You're not going to be motivated every single day. You're not going to want to get up and do that DMO every single day. Or it's going to be 10 o'clock at night and you think, I've got all this to tick off. Shall I do it or shall I go to bed? But having that accountability buddy, you've got someone to go to and go, oh, do you know what? Have you done your DMO today? Yes, I've done my DMO. Right, I better do mine. Okay, I've had a really rubbish day today. How's your day been? You know, you can lock in with someone, you can tie in with someone. So definitely when you're starting a 90-day game plan, find that accountability buddy. Also, like, bounce ideas off each other, you know, start a new challenge in your teams, lock over team training and stuff. Like I always say this, my team must get so sick of hearing me like week in, week out, not saying the same things, but we tend to, don't we? So lock in with someone, swap team training, swap ideas. Also something as well, which we've started doing is, I know there's so many different DMO calls, power hours, working Zooms, but do one with your team. They're really important. They really, really are important. For us personally, the 6:30 a.m. ones didn't work. People weren't utilizing them. People were, you know, already off out the door, or kids were already up. So for us, they didn't work. So now we actually do one on a Wednesday. So we've got one midweek, and obviously we've always got our team training on a Sunday. But we've also, through December, to keep that momentum, because everybody is busy during the day, we've also started to put one on a Tuesday. So we've got one on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, 8:30 till 9. And like we say to people, do you know what? Just log on. Even if you don't want to do the tasks that are being set, log on, but keep yourself accountable. Say, right, this half an hour, I've got to message all these people back, or I've got to do this for tomorrow. You know, get yourself organized on these calls as well. Even if you're thinking, right, I don't want to get on them and do the tasks, just use them for the accountability. But as well, work in your 90-day game plan. I had two. I actually had my DMO, and I also had a 90-day game plan for my team. I'll pop the codes across. I'll send them to James and then he can share them across. But what I also did was I had a 90-day game plan for my team. So I looked at everybody who was in my team, everybody, what positions they were, what they were going for. And I actually sat down with them all, because I always do a monthly one-to-one, but I sat down with them and was like, what would you like to achieve in 90 days? Right, you do a 90-day game plan with us, because there's just so much more momentum if you can get everybody doing it together, because then everybody keeps everyone accountable. There's nothing worse. You don't want to be that person that hasn't done it. So lock in with your team, find out their goals. Again, like, we're coming into a new year. If you haven't already sat down with your team and found out what they want to achieve in January, do it now. There's no point waiting to January to then go, right, let's do your new year one-to-one. No, you've already missed a few days of the month. Like, there's no point to that. A few days of the year. So sit down with your team now. Again, use your time wisely in December. If you are saying, oh, it's quieter, use your time wisely to lock in with your team and find out what they want to achieve. Right, okay, so let's do this for you. Okay, right, in January, you want to hit this. Are they where they need to be in December? You know, are they using December as a builder month, whether it's to build a new leg or get a new SP or build a new clubs that in January they can hit that next club? You know, start looking at your team structure as well now. The 90-day game plans, they're not just for you. You know, look at your team, look at what they need. And you just have got to commit to it. You really, really have. It is that thing of just making that excuse. You know, you can have results, you can have excuses, you can't have both. And I'm probably the harshest person for this, because I always say to everybody, like, everybody has got something going on, whether it's something, someone might have something that to you is really, really trivial, but to them, it's, you know, it's really, really important. So everyone's excuses are exactly the same, but you can't have both. You've got to, you know, say, right, I am going to do this. I am going to do it. You can't make excuses. Excuses aren't going to get you anywhere. And you have got to make sure that you're, you know, working on your mindset. That is the thing. Everyone will say to me, what changed? What changed in January last year? What changed? Apart from, yes, a 90-day game plan that I committed to every single day. You know, I wrote those tick boxes and I ticked it, and I didn't go to bed until those tick boxes were all ticked. But the biggest thing that changed was me mentally. Like, we fuel our bodies every single day, but do we fuel our minds? And it was me that literally went, do you know what? I am doing it. I am doing it. Nothing's going to get in my way. I am doing it. And it sounds really, really silly, but it is. Like, stop the self-doubt, just go for it. Tell yourself you are doing it. Make sure you're doing your self-development every single day. And if you haven't updated your vision board, guys, then go and do it today. Make sure it's done before the new year, because it's your vision board on those days that's going to make you get out of bed, that will make you do it. But it is, you've just got to make that split decision. And also as well, I've got the last thing on my list is, when I said about doing 3 to 6 posts every single day, these are my 5 non-negotiable posts. And this is something that actually I get my team to do right from the start now. And again, really simple. Number 1, make sure you're posting about you taking the products. Number 2, make sure you're showing your food, because people don't want to think that we live on shake diets. Number 3 is your exercise. So you don't have to be a gym junkie. 1 second, sweetheart. You don't have to be a gym junkie, but you know, live the mission. Go out and get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, get moving, get some steps in. Number 4 is your results, and number 5 is other people's results every single day. And now with your results, it doesn't have to be, you know, a big before and after. It could be your daily wins, that you feel better. It could be that this winter you haven't had, you know, ear infection or a throat infection. It could be that the jeans are a little bit looser. You know, it's those small wins every single day that actually make a lot. But they are like my 5 non-negotiables. 1 second, sweetheart. My 5 non-negotiables that I will post every single day.
Fantastic, Jane. Absolutely epic. I mean, your energy is just so incredible. And you look so well. But you've just got such a great grasp of everything, and you put everything across so beautifully well. So let's put some big thanks in the chat to Jane, and your best takeaways. It's always wonderful to share your best takeaways, because you know what you may have got from it, someone else might not have seen, and all that. So yeah. Jane, thank you. Now, Jane, I think you might have someone to come on in a moment.
Yes, I'm trying to get hold of them as well. It's one of those days today. I'm
no, don't worry. Look, we're running a bit over, but if he or she is on, we'll get them on. If not, we'll move on.
I can't find them, so maybe move on, James, because I don't want to hold anyone up. I've already
Great. Okay, so good. No, absolutely epic there, Jane. I mean, really incredible. So I'm just a little bit of.
I noticed someone asked in the chat about the 5 posts. So those 5 posts, I will break them up over the day, or I'll make sure that they're on my socials somewhere. So sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that it will all be 5 Facebook posts. Sometimes it might be that my morning, I always do a morning product post, but it might be that my food is in my stories somewhere, or it might be that my exercise, you know, if it's just a little walk, you know, with the kids or the dog, that might be in my stories. But I make sure that
can you put all of that in the chat?
Yes, of course I can. Yeah, I'll type that up now.
Brilliant. All right, well, look, we're going to move on now, but thank you so much. You are a total superstar. And last question, where was your trip? Where did you go? Your last trip?
So we went to Florida, which was on my vision board from day 1, was NMD and Florida together, and it was always that thing of when I hit NMD.
Yeah, where did you go in Florida?
Orlando, Disney World.
I love it. Brilliant. Thank you, Jane. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're going to move on to the most fabulous Paula Maguire. So I think a lot of people, well, you know, all of us know Paula. Paula is just like a really, really incredible person, always so supportive, but just like totally up there, working closely alongside with John Holowati, always a hugely inspirational person. So Paula Maguire is going to talk about why she's so passionate about the Juice Plus business. Paula says, I joined Juice Plus in 2012 as a single mum of 3. Wow. I'm now stepmom to another 3. Goodness me, like the Brady Bunch. And step nanny to 2 gorgeous granddaughters. I reached National Marketing Director in 2014, and I worked my Juice Plus business around all our girls and have got the life of freedom and choice that I always craved. So Paula, are you there?
I'm here, James. I'm here and feeling very nervous. I don't know why I'm feeling so nervous, but maybe it's because it's completely out of my comfort zone.
So wonderful to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that gorgeous introduction. And thank you so much for inviting me on the call. It's a real honor because, as you know, I totally love these calls and don't quite think I'm worthy to be up here with all these fabulous speakers, but I'll do my best. I've made notes because obviously I'm going to be talking about something other than my story, but my title is Why Am I So Passionate About the Juice Plus Company? And what has kept me here for over 10 years? Well, I will go into that as the story develops. So just a snippet of my previous story. I've always been self-employed, so I understand the ups and downs of business, which actually comes in, really handy with this business. I know it's natural to have the ups and downs, but my previous business actually created far more downs than ups. I might have had plenty of money at times with my previous business. It did very, very well at times, but in the end, it left me with a ton of debt, and it left me incredibly ill with all the stress of that business. It was a 20-year business, and I had a 20-year marriage, which was very difficult. Again, left me with an awful lot of effects of stress. Many people will obviously relate to that. Stress is, so damaging. The wonderful thing about our business is that the stress is pretty much minimized. Not saying that every day is rosy, of course it's not, but the positives far outweigh the negatives. And so, yeah, I came across Juice Plus. I was actually introduced to it by my parents. They had started taking the products before me. I'd never heard of it. I was in a really bad way with my health, and as I say, with stress at the time on antidepressants, and all those horrible negative downward spiral effects were happening for me. And I had no clue that nutrition could help in any way. So I was a bit close-minded to it, but because my parents introduced me to it, I decided to take the products just because my mum gave me some of hers. And very quickly, I started to feel the benefits. We know this. If you take the premium capsules, especially, obviously, all of that goodness flooding in very quickly has some positive benefits. So I started to feel better. And I knew that if I was feeling better, that I could help other people feel better too. And that is literally how I got started in the business. Unbelievably over 10 years ago. So there's so many things I could talk about. The freedom, the fact that I've been around for my daughters. As I say, I split up from their dad, and all of them went through such a tough time. I was there for them, whatever they needed. I was also able, when on days when I was having a bad day, I was able to have, hibernate, but I could still be connected with people online. And I literally learned as I earned. I literally learned about this business as I was going along with everybody else at the same time. You hunker down with your team, you hunker down with your customers, and you just evolve. So instead of trying to waffle on and talk about everything, I thought I would concentrate on the word passion to connect with. Why am I so passionate about this company? So the P, of course, has to stand for positivity. We have to have the positivity to keep us in this business. And actually, the two come hand in hand. You start putting all the good stuff into your body that naturally has a direct pathway up to your brain, your mind, to your brain. Everything starts working clearer in a better way. Putting that good stuff in just gives out that positivity. And just in sorry, I've lost my thread. So yeah, not just the physical energy and positivity that we get from the products, but the psychological positivity and energy that we get, the spiritual, the fact that we're open to, as John says, all of these people that say yes to you. You know, not if you've got an idea, people say go for it. Yeah, whatever you want to do. This business just breeds that positivity. So, and obviously that passes down. It's what I like to think about. If you think about the ripples, ripple effect of a stone in a pond, you have got that positivity going on. You inspire a customer to join you, and they start getting those benefits too. You become a better person in the world, and they become a better person in the world. You become a better partner, a better mother, a better father, better daughter, sister, auntie, whoever. You're having that positive effect and impact on the people around you, then they will go on and have that positive effect and impact on the people around them. And it's just such a great way to think about how this business can just affect so many people all around the world all the time. So being part of a community of like-minded people, of course, the fact that we're all on the same mission of inspiring healthy living around the world is very empowering. You know, we should take a lot of confidence and strength from that. It's fundamentally our job to share with people what our products can do, what the business can do. And that is such a blessing to live our lives in such a high vibe way. You know, where else does that happen in the world? So to move on then to the A, I'm not obviously saying that every day is rosy. Life happens, of course it does, but our attitude is what we should bring. We should bring the hopeful and helpful attitude to every conversation that we're having. As long as we're staying authentic, there's another A word for you, but stay authentic and real and share what's happening. Share who you were before, because people have to relate to them, you know, to you as you were and the struggles that you had, the person that you were before. Share that, but then you're also sharing what has happened since, what's still happening. We're never at the end of the journey, are we? So you are bringing that helpful and hopeful attitude to every conversation that you have. And this is the start. And I know it's been said many times today, but that's should you know, tell you something. It leaves clues, doesn't it, if that repetition is happening. But this is the start of your self-development toolkit. This is when, if life gets tough, you need to have a toolkit to refer to. You need to have, as people have said, the why, the vision boards, etc., that will keep you there. But also you must know that, you know, it's so reassuring to know that we're surrounded by everyone who understands the journey and is very willing to share with us the way that they get through the day, the way that they get through the tough times, the celebrating of the wins, not just with your immediate team, but the recognition that this company gives you. You know, having always been self-employed before, nobody was patting me on the back. And it's incredible, the recognition that we get. And you know, that builds your self-esteem and your feelings of self-worth. And again, it's another positive thing that is absorbed into our bodies that then can radiate out into helping other people.
3 minutes, 3-minute bell.
Okay, so we then, so that's the self-development side of things. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what position you are, how long you've been in this business. You have to keep growing. We age, our audience ages. We change, our audience changes. You have to keep up with that, and growth makes it. You know, you realize it's okay to try different strategies if something isn't working. We can be extremely, extremely proud of our company and our mission. We you know, get that knowledge about our company, get that knowledge about the network marketing profession as a whole. But obviously, as our company, you know, is so much about changing lives, you know, become a professional and take it seriously. This industry absolutely does amazing things, and there are multi-million dollar earners who give their knowledge away and training away for free. So really understand that about our company. How many jobs do we get paid to be the best version of ourselves? So be that inspiration to other people, become that product of the product. Love, 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 love everything about our products and the journey that they can take you on, because that will, you know, stand you in good stead for all your life. You know, I wish somebody had shared this product with me when I was so much younger. I started taking it age 45, I'm 55 now, and I just wish that I had these products from when my kids were little. It should be a given. It's not a sales job, so you have to learn and love these products, and then it becomes so much more than a sales job.
Paula, one minute now.
Okay, so be that inspiration, be optimistic about your future and everything that this business can give you. And lastly, just never give up. If you want something more out of life, you have to do something more. And people need to follow the pioneers. People need to follow the dreamers and the doers, be a doer. But often they haven't seen what we've seen. So it's our job to show them, to lead them, and to show them the way and show them that light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you so much, James. I'm sorry, I've just kind of...
No, absolutely amazing. I think the way that you come across is so authentic, so real, and with all your business experience of before, it just sets the beautiful context of everything that we're doing and why this is such an extraordinary place to be. So
we have to remember why we're doing it, and the other thing is just stay so close to the fire. Even if you're feeling lost, dig back in. Don't walk away.
I saw your cat there, and I was surprised your cat didn't start walking across the keyboard, because a lot of people say that when they're on Zoom, the cats just want to start, they want to get the attention on themselves, so they start walking across the keyboard.
I'm very surprised she didn't do that.
So have you got do you have someone to come on? Yeah.
Yes, hopefully my Jodie is here. My gorgeous friend Jodie is, she is an Australian lady who's lived in the UK for a long, long time, but she happens to be back in Australia for her Christmas holidays. So hopefully, Jode, are you there to share your story, sweetie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. Yeah, thanks, Paula, for asking me to come on. Yeah, I'm here in Australia, all sunny while everyone's freezing, I hear, not rubbing it in. So yeah, I was just going to come on and say how brilliant this company is, really. For me, living in the UK, I've got a team in Australia and in America. But while I'm holidaying, I can come and see my family, catch up with my team. I'm getting paid while I'm away still. And I'm a hairdresser, I'm a mobile hairdresser, which is great to have that freedom. But over lockdown, well, this is what brought me here now, because I haven't been able to come home for 5 years. And over lockdown, I had still an income and the opportunity to still be working with these amazing products, having the backup with Paula, John, everyone in our team who've always been amazing help to me, and keeping the team in Australia going. And now being able to come back out, see my family, see my team. And it just proves that you can do it from anywhere, anytime, live in any country, you can be on holidays, do whatever. But I think it all comes down to the passion, like Paula said. If you're really passionate about it, you love the products, you love, it's not just the products, it's the people, it's a whole family for me. And living in another country, away from all my friends and family, this is now, you know, my whole new family, like-minded people. And yeah, I absolutely love the business, I love the products, and I'll never be without them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And what part of Australia are you in today?
In Victoria, so near Melbourne.
Oh, nice, wonderful, great. And what Melbourne, beautiful. I love Melbourne. Yeah. So are you beaching it for Christmas, or what do you do for Christmas?
I live near the river, so we're all on the river in the country. So, you know, it was only about 28 today, just to let you know, but might get a bit hotter before Christmas. Just trying to get my suntan in now.
Thank you so much for coming. I love the reindeer behind, you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Brilliant.
James. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, thank you
Merry
so
Christmas.
much. Very, very much. And thank you, Paula. Absolutely epic. And thank you very much for arranging Jodie to come on. Right. Okay, everyone. So we're coming on to our final speaker now. And I am absolutely beyond excited to welcome this person on now. Now, Shay O'Brien really is the father of the whole of the Juice Plus business in Europe. Shay started in 1989, I believe, and we were both at the event of the launch of the company in the UK, which was at the Novotel in Hammersmith, I think in February 1989. And I remember when, anyway, just very quickly, I remember when, you know, when we started, no one ever thought that Manchester would take off for Juice Plus, of course, but Shay came in and absolutely took it off like a rocket. So Shay really is the most outstanding person in our company. He's the most successful distributor in Europe. He then went on to become very, very successful master distributor for the company. He then effectively unlocked the whole of the UK with social media and had the huge growth with Katie, and obviously the, you know, Emma and John, and, you know, and the rest, of course, is all history. He now has his own private equity business investing in other companies. He's a shareholder of Juice Plus. But Shay's leadership and people skills are beyond imagination. This guy is the best of the best, and we are so, so grateful, Shay, to have you on. What you contributed to our company is beyond imagination. So please, everybody, welcome the incredible Shay O'Brien.
Can you hear me? I just want to check that thing first.
What an amazing look.
Yeah, by the way, I've got to just tell you this very quick story. You'll see I'm very different from the photograph. So I went to America for 2 weeks, went to California, and I thought, I've never ever shaven my head off. So I did it, and I just got back, and it was so funny coming in with this. I've always had longer hair. And then I went to see my mum a couple of days ago for Christmas before I go away. My mum's got Alzheimer's, so her memory's about 3 or 4 minutes, and she hated my hairstyle. So every time I walked back in the room, she'd forgotten I'd had it cut and kind of saying, "Oh my God, what have you done to your hair? You have such lovely hair, just like me when you grow it long." Anyway, that's my story. So James, thank you for that introduction. There's no one could ever introduce me like you introduced me. I mean, James has always given me great confidence over all the years. If ever I'm having a bad day, just call James and say, "James, what do you think about me?" And I'm going to have a great day. It's brilliant. And it's nice to see some of the people in the call who we built this together. Sean, Nikki Tolson, amongst others, obviously with you, James. We built this. What happens that when we went from, we were originally water filtration, and then we switched over to the Juice Plus, and we didn't have anything, and the business had not really done well with the water filters. We didn't kind of get it quite right, and we literally had to build it from scratch together, not even knowing what to do. We had no idea. What we did, and Nikki and Sean and James will tell you this, is we created a family and a vibe and an energy and a togetherness and a oneness. And when people came into it, they just felt that family warmth, wholesome, connected feeling that wasn't stressful, like the work life can be. And they were just like, I want to be part of this. And that's one of the things, I'm talking now to all of you, let's say the newer people here today. This is really, that's who I want to reach out to today. That's what you need to create in your own way. You've got to almost imagine what's my perfect world? What world would I like to create? You can create that within this business. You create your own reality. It's like a virtual reality, but in real life. You create it, and that's what we did, and how we built the business, from me being a distributor and then going on the corporate side. And it was amazing. It was the best years of my life. I've had many sort of, let's say, business careers. And my first career, I had a job in the city in London, hated it. I hated it. I really get up every day with a pit in my stomach, but I did it, and I did okay, and had a nice little fancy Renault 5 GT Turbo, which when I was 21, used to zip around and feel nice in and all that. And I did okay in that job. I didn't do very well. I did okay. I did just enough and everything else. But I was looking for something more. So when I came across the Juice Plus company, it was NSA as it was back then, I just felt, this is it. This is me. And I listened to a lot of stories of the leaders, and I resonated, and I heard people talking about how it changed my life. Now, when you hear people say, I've changed my life, for us British people, we get a bit cringy at that. The American, it's no problem in America. Hey, this changed my life, and everyone's like, oh, that's brilliant. In the UK, we're a bit more skeptical, a bit more reserved. So when you hear that, you have a little bit, that reservation comes in. But I sort of started peeling back the layers, and I saw people were saying, yes, just like Paula said, they had passion, they had freedom, and I thought, that's what I want. I want freedom. I want to be able to, and I've heard you talk about it, James, is, the alarm clock goes off and you just press the go to sleep button and just wake up when you want to wake up. I wanted to have that freedom. I was always a night owl, could never get out of bed in the morning. It does change when you get older. But so that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to work my hours. So I had all these visions of what I wanted to have, and I created that reality. And that's the thing I want to say to all of the new people is, you can create your reality. You can create your best life. It can look exactly how you want it to look. And it's amazing. And that's, this business, it's a bit of plasticine, or you can mold it exactly how you want it. And it's so exciting, but you have to go from seeing it to really believing it. And that's why I like the big conventions and the big meetings. And I would suggest that you always go to the big meetings. It's always worth going to America as well, for some of those, the big meetings, because what that does is, when you've heard so many people who are not any better than you, who are not any more qualified than you, who haven't got any special characteristics that you haven't got, when you see them say, this changed my life, I was this and now this is my life, that gives you the belief to know, right, that this can be for me. And I can tell all of you, every single listener on this call, you can have the life you want for this business. And then you might say, well, how do you know that? You don't know my circumstances. I've seen over 33 years in this business, coming up to 34 in February, actually, February 18th it was, James. I've seen so many people change their lives that were in terrible situations. Paula, you talked about being on antidepressants and being stressed and everything else. I've seen those stories of many people in terrible, dire situations who had to crawl out of a hole and get themselves on a new footing, on create a new path, on create a new vision. And that vision gave them happiness. So because they knew what they could achieve in the future, it made them happy now. Because happiness is a state of mind now. It's not a place of where you are. I can tell you this for a fact. And I've done financially, I can't believe the financial success I've had because and through this business. It doesn't make you any happier. So it doesn't. I know that's that big thing. Oh, well, one of these days when I have this, I will be happy. No, happiness is a now state. But to get happy now, you do need to know you're on the right path. That's the key. So that's what you get. And that's where I was. I came into this business. I didn't like my job. I was feeling, not happy a lot of the time. And when it came into this, and then I believed in it, and I saw it, and I felt it, and I had the plan. Everything changed, and my energy changed. My energy went up. I became like a magnet to people, because they were like, I want some of what you're on. They could just feel. I mean, I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to become financially independent with this business. I didn't know how financially independent, but whatever. I knew I was going to become financially independent. I had a plan. I had a dream to have homes all over the world in different remote and amazing and great locations, which I've achieved that, and I enjoy it. I mean, I do enjoy, I've got to say, I mean, you know, money can't buy happiness. Nipping off from home to home, it's pretty nice when you want to do it, I have to say that. And I've just moved back to England. I've been out of England for 15 years. I've just moved back I'm in Bristol, actually. What a city, Bristol. I had no idea. This city is amazing. Everyone's happy here. It's bizarre. I don't know, everyone smiles, everyone chats. All the traffic, everyone lets you out in the traffic. I mean, I was in Manchester last week. No one lets you out. I mean, I'm, you know, Manchester at heart, but everyone's bibbing, tooting. You know, anyway, so I'm back in the UK. I love the happy energy. I love the happy vibe. But then I'm off to Ibiza for a month with the kids on Monday, and it's great. And you know, that's the perks. That was my dream. That was my vision board. So that was the thing I wanted to have. I liked it, Jane, that you had NMD and Florida together, and that's what you do, is you create your story. And what I really want to push to all of you over this Christmas period, because this is the time when you have reflection, we've got a time for new year and new goals. Think about the life you want to have. This business can give you that. Now, it comes with work. I thought, again, Jane, you did an amazing job today at that. You have to do stuff, you have to work. And because I had, you know, this is again the part of, let's say, my success story. What was that? I'm no better than anyone else, no more different than anyone else. I've grown within this business. So now I can speak in a way with more confidence, let's say, than I had, you know, when I came into the business, because success gives you that confidence, but that's a step-by-step growth. But, you know, that's what I want to say to you is plan the life you want to have, and you can have it. And why do I know that? As I said a few minutes ago, because I've seen so many people over the years in countries all over the world that have done exactly that. They've found the life they want. They created the life they want. Now, I was fortunate enough to meet the board of the company a couple of weeks ago. I was in Los Angeles, and I thought, you know what, I'm over here. I'm gonna send a message and go and pop in and see them. I'd just like to see what's the latest things, what's happening. And the future is amazing. You know, there's been one or two people this year who've not been satisfied with things in 2022. Things haven't gone quite right and haven't gone, let's say, according to plan. It's just minor detail. And the plans for 23 are super strong, super powerful. And I think coming out of the gate, and it was one of the discussions I was having with the company, is, you know, I'm excited to see that I saw their plan. Their plan is amazing. And I said, listen, I'm sat here, you know, I've been with the company 34 years. I've seen all the ups and downs and everything that's been going on with the company. You know, I've been through all the times. And what I can tell you is, when there's good times, there's not so good times coming. When there's not so good times, there's good times coming. It's life. It reflects life. It's like the stock market. You're up 1 minute, down the next, or the property market. It's like everything. It's like that. So anyway, I was sat there, and the board were going through their plans and what they've got coming out and things for next year. And I said, we need to get this out as quickly as possible for everyone to see. This is amazing. I'm so excited. You know, they've gone into a time of extra investment into the business. They really want to pump in, or not they want to, they are pumping in a lot of money into the business to make all of our future bigger, brighter, stronger, faster, and all of those things. So really watch this space, you know, in the next weeks, in terms of the things that we're going to be starting to be shared with all of you. It's an amazing time if you're new on the call, it's the best time to join the business now. I tell you why. It's in January. Everyone is, over this Christmas period, they're evaluating What does my life look like? What have I got waiting for me? What is coming? Can I change? And then you're there introducing what we have to people. It's a perfect time. January is always our strongest month of the year, so be ready. So, you know, I say to everyone, start getting prepared in December for the big blockbuster January and get some momentum. Momentum is very important with this business. It's a story I've told many, many times before, and I will tell it again. And that is, you know, you're on a plane, you sat there, the pilot comes on, you're just about to take off, and he says, right, guys, we're going to try something new today. We're going to try and record the slowest ever historical takeoff of a plane ever. I just feel like breaking this record. I'm feeling bullish today. I'm in the mood. If you want to get off the plane, you can do. Or do you want to sit on the plane and have this slowest ever takeoff? You'd be like, get my bags. I'm off the plane right now. You wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. No, when you're on the plane, on the runway, it's full throttle. You pin back to your seat, up and off you go. That is the easiest way to do this business. I would find that I would not have been able to make this business slow. You know, even though you're part-time, you know, many of you part-time, and we start part-time, yeah, but start part-time fast, you know, furious, go for it. Because when you have that momentum, when you have that result, that's what fills you up. That's what gives you confidence. That's what attracts other people towards you. So get some momentum going. Also, I did some notes. I've not even looked at them. But my first note was that you are a product of the product. You know, you go into Times Square, there's that 60-foot or 80-foot, you know, picture of whether it's, I don't know, Coca-Cola or whatever it is that's in there, or Leicester Square in London, right? You are that advertisement for this business. So you just remember, you are that 60-foot, 80-foot picture in Times Square. And what I mean by it is how you look, how your energy is, how you're coming across, and the changes that will happen. When I came in this business, I went from sort of plodding along in my job to suddenly being super motivated, super excited, and super focused, which made me get super healthy and start going to the gym and running and doing all these amazing things. So I suddenly started looking great compared to how I was. And it doesn't matter wherever you are, it's about where you're going. So whatever place you are in your life and how you look, and you know, we all know when we look our best or when we're not looking so great, but you will, you know, get back to looking your best, and then get back to looking even better, get back to being your best, and get back to being even better. And how do we do that? By listening to positive materials, by going to events, by being on these calls, by realizing I can have more, I can be more, there is more out there, I'm gonna have more, it's coming my way, I'm changing my life, I'm changing the future generations of my family through this business, which I have done and many people have done, and you can do. And it's realizing that that's true. And when you get on that journey, bam, it comes at you so fast, you become a magnet, so powerful that people, they just want to take your products and be part of what you're doing. And that's it. So that's the really big thing is I just want you over this next holiday period, think about how 23 is going to look, and think about how your life's going to look. 23 is going to be a massive year for us in Juice Plus. It always goes in cycles and in waves, and we have, and next year is that cycle, it's that wave time, and there's a lot of recession out there, there's a lot of instability out there, so people are looking for more. You know, they're looking for more, they're looking for something new, they're looking for something greater. And if you're there on your game, looking your best you, feeling your best you will attract them. They'll want to be part of your gang, they'll want to be part of your team, and you will have an amazing future. And ups and downs are part of the journey, guys. So there's no one gets to the top without having an up and down journey. So for those of you who are not on full form right now, don't worry, it's going to come back around, but it starts with you. It starts with you saying, hey, I'm in control, I'm the boss, I'm the master of my future, I'm the master of my destiny. It's going to change, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it now. It's not in a year or 2 years, no, now. Get on the path to a new life now. You can do it. It's amazing. What a journey I've had. I can't imagine what my life might have been like if I'd gone down a different route. It's amazing. It's incredible for newer people. I know when we talk about this changing your life, it's going to make you skeptical. Don't be skeptical, be open, explore it. It's amazing. So thank you guys. Hope I was able to give you a little bit of an insight into stuff. And yeah, there we go.
Well, Shay, absolutely awesome. I mean, fantastic. No one communicates it better than you. And I think it's got to be straight into the studio now to make an album. Yeah, no, Shay, I can't tell you how grateful we are for you coming on. I know you're so busy, you've got so much going on, but I think the reassurance about the fact that you're there, that you're in touch with the board, that you understand the distributor base, there's no better connection between you and the company. And to hear what you're saying about what's going to be happening in 2023 with all your experience with private equity and what you can see with other companies is so exciting. So,
it is. You know, it really is. There's some great things coming down the line, really amazing things coming. I went to see the company because I wanted to let them, I just wanted to share with them what we need as distributors. And I see myself, I'm a shareholder of the business, but I see myself as a distributor, so I'm part of the we. And I said, you know, I just want to make sure that you really know what we need and what you know, what we want. And I was super impressed, left there super happy, super excited. And I just said, right, we need to get all this amazing news you've shared with me. We need to get this out into the gang because, you know, I said, we as distributors, we like to see a runway of the exciting things coming down the road. And 23 would be a big year, be a strong year. I predicted 2020 when we went into COVID. I'm going to be boastful and braggadocious here and say I was the one that first came out and said, this is an amazing time for Juice Plus, and it was. We built a phenomenal business, and I'm telling you right now, 23 is going to be a big, big growth year for Juice Plus. It's coming, and make sure, you know, but not everyone will grow. We, the company, will have a big growth next year, but not everyone will necessarily join with us. So you have to say, I'm part of that growth. I'm in, I'm going, and make sure that, you know, you've bought the lottery ticket. You know, as they say, you know, you can't win the lottery without buying the lottery ticket. Well, you can't get growth and success without doing what you need to do. So do what you need to do and join us in 23. It'd be a biggie, real biggie. We'll check in at the end of 23, and I'm going to say, I told you so.
Come on, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Shay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you for all our speakers, for Sue, Jane, Nona, Nese, Paula, of course, Shay, absolutely epic. Thank you also for all of the speakers that came on that were the special guests of the speakers. I'm sorry I can't list you all now, but so grateful for you coming on. I know it's a really, really big deal to come on a call like this when you were asked as a guest to come on and speak, and everybody did so well. So excited for now. So excited for the future. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I have recorded this, so I will get that out.
Well done, James. Well done, James, for doing this. You've always been such an amazing leader. Well done, you. Big round.
Thank you very much.
I mean, that's why I came on. I came on for you. How could I say that to you? We've got the family here, full house. But for you, James, you're amazing. What a leader. What a leader.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all in it together, and it's a very, very special place to be. So thank you very much. Happy Christmas, everyone. And we obviously look forward to staying in touch and going all the way in 2023. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.